Alrighty everyone, welcome to day 11 of Advent to Code. Yesterday was a little rough, but we're back here for day 11. Speaking day 10 though, I did go and make a visualization for day 10. If you go to the website, you can put the input in, and you can generate this nice little visualization of what your input is. This is the raw view, and you can use these this radio button up here to change it from the different styles, or different kind of view types, I guess. So the second type here is style. This is basically still your raw input, but instead of the characters, it's showing the actual kind of like lines from Unicode to kind of make it all look like nice lines. You can then go and filter it to then only show the lines, and the characters are the ones that are part of the path for part 1. And also you can have the last check, which is the same thing, just now with all the enclosed points marked with the red hash symbol there. And then also you can see that there's a little green symbol there. Might be hard to see, but that is my starting position, so it's also marked on the visualization. So kind of cool. Went through, especially like the whole Unicode characters with the this box design. Really kind of shows the path and makes it look pretty cool. But yeah, so you're welcome to go put your own input in, see your own input visualized in the different states. And yeah, so without ado, day 11, let's get it. You continue following signs for hot springs, eventually come across an observatory. The elf within turns out to be a researcher studying cosmic expansion using a giant telescope here. He doesn't know anything about the missing machine parts. He's only visiting for the research project. However, he confirms that the hot springs are the next closest area I'd like to have people. He'll then take you straight there once he's done with today's observation analysis. Maybe you can help him with analysis to speed things up. Researchers collected a bunch of data and compiled the data into a single giant image, a puzzle input. The image includes empty spaces and galaxies. Researchers trying to figure out the sum of the lengths of the shortest path between each pair of galaxies. However, there's a catch. The universe expanded in the time it took for the light from the galaxies to reach the observatory. Do something involving gravitational effects. Only some space expands. In fact, the result is that any arrows or columns that are contained in a galaxy should actually be twice as big. Okay. Okay, equipped with this expanded universe, the shortest path between each pair of galaxies can be found. Unique number. In those 9 galaxies, there are 36 pairs. Only count each pair once. Order within the pair doesn't matter. For each pair, find any shortest path between 2 galaxies. Up, down, left, and right, exactly one at a time. Okay. The sum of the shortest paths between all 36 and 37. Okay. Well, luckily it's not a traveling salesman problem, because that would be fun. Not really, but... Alright, so the first part of this, obviously, is to have our map. And... what we need to do, I'm trying to think here. What we need to do is first do our input, split on new lines, and then map each line to be split on every character. Sorry about the train that's going by. So now we have this. Now the rows is pretty... Actually, let's just do this. For let y equals 0, while y is less than map.length, y plus plus. Save a file. So let's do this let, and we can just go through the entire thing for both x and y. X. So what we'll do is we'll have let line empty is equal to false, not 0. Actually, true. what we can do here is if it's all dots. Okay, so if map y x does not equal a dot, we can go ahead and set line empty to false. Yeah, we'll just do this, and then we can flip it for the other one. And break, and then do a check here is if the line is empty, go ahead and do map map equals map dot slice from 0 to y. And then we'll have to do something here, and then map.slice from y on. And then we'll also have to increase y by 1 to account for this. So it's not going to be input, it's going to be array length is going to be y dot length fill with empty. Is it because it's not that? There we go. Okay, so we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Okay. I don't know why I couldn't process that. So there's that, and then we go ahead and just do it one more time, flipping the x and the y's. Line empty, but in this time, what's going to happen is it's going to do map equals map dot map line. We're going to have to do line dot slice from 0 to x. Same thing. Actually, it's just going to be adding a dot and then slice. Because that's a line. Right, this. There we go. And x plus. Okay, so that should now expand. We can just do 0 for each y. Yeah. Okay, so that should expand the whole. So now we just got to go through and calculate the distance between every point. I believe it's just rise and run. Let's try it. Okay, and then so now we're gonna go map const get distance to all. It's going to take in number, and we're going to do this. Go through them all. If start x, start y. Start x, start y. So if start x equals x, or start y equals y. Sorry, and. If I could type, be nice. Or map of y x does not equal that. Which we can just go and just do continue. And then otherwise now we just need to do is let distance equal 0, distance plus equals y minus start y plus x minus start x. Math dots absolute of both of these, add them together. There's our distance. We can return distance now. And now what we can do is we can do this. Woo. Let part 1 equal 0. Part 1 plus equals get distance to all, passing in x and y, and console log part 1. No shot that this is gonna be right, but try for the one shot. Nope, fair enough. It can only calculate. Okay. It can only do is if y is less than if y is less than start y, or y equals start y, and x is less than start x, then also continue. Number divided by 2. And then back to 364. Okay, so that's, now it's only calculating once. Oh yeah, it's right up from. I don't know what I was thinking. I just forgot how to use an array. Or how to initialize arrays. 410, that seems more like it. Okay, can I get rid of that whole +1 stuff I was doing? Get rid of that +1. 374. Yeah, I don't understand why I couldn't, why I was failing that so hard. Alright, let's try that now. Yeah, that's a mental error. Solid mental error. Where is that? Get rid of that. Okay. Nice. Galaxies are much older and thus much further apart than the researcher initially estimated. Now, instead of expanding you did before, make each empty row or column 1 million times larger. That is, each empty row should be replaced with. So obviously, we need to implement a. Okay, so obviously this doesn't work. So what we need to do is screw this. Oh, we actually don't want to have it. What we need is we need a empty columns. So actually what we're doing here is empty rows push y, and then likewise here empty columns. I can put this back to const. Push x. So now what's going to happen is when we do this, we also need to take into account how many rows and columns we are going through. So what we need to do is we need to do equals empty columns filter its C needs to be greater than X. Actually I need to do greater than math.min of X and start X. And C is less than math.max of X and start X. So what this is going to do is this is going to give us every single column we're passing through. Length times 1,000,000. And so now we can just add it on to this and do the exact same thing for rows. R, Y, start Y, R, Y, start Y. And also add on the rows. And in theory, this is actually going to give us part 2. But it's not right. One could have hoped. Okay. So let me actually do this. Okay, so part 1's going to be that. Part 2 is going to be in theory, this should satisfy them both at the same time. Let's hopefully we get part 1 again. My part 1 was that. Okay. Am I smaller or larger? I'm above my answer. Okay, okay. So something here is wrong. Alrighty. 1 to 7 is 15. 1 to 7 is 12. All right, you gotta subtract. Right, expansion size minus 1 because it's already being calculated once in that math there. There we go. Right, it's already being done once by this math absolute. There we go. Wow, I made that a lot harder than it needed to be. I made that way harder than it needed to be. All right, I actually don't think I need to clean this thing up. Just looking at it real quick. So should be good. I will probably end up having, or I'll try to, I will probably try and, I might leave it as is. Anyways, let's just talk about how you solve this. So, for today's problem, we are given this input of galaxies, which are marked by this, and empty space was marked by the periods. So pounds are galaxies, periods are empty space. For the question, we need to calculate the distance between each galaxy and then add up all the distances. But the one trick is that if you have a line that's entirely periods, which I think this one is, I think it is. What happens is that is actually empty space, and they are growing, or they actually are moving, and so the empty space is growing. For part 1, each empty line or column is actually becomes 2 empty lines or columns after expansion, and part 2 becomes 1 million empty lines or columns. Doesn't matter, we can deal with that in the same way for both of them, which is simply to, when we go to calculate distances, which is, I feel like everyone should be able to calculate distances between 2 points. In this case, it's Manhattan distance, which is easy. We simply just we find all the columns and rows that are between the 2 points that are empty, and we multiply by the expansion size. So part 1, the expansion size is 2, part 2, the expansion size is 1 million. Subtract 1 off the expansion size, because again, when we do our calculation for the straight up Manhattan distance between 2 points, it's already taken into account one of those empty lines or columns. So that's why we subtract 1 there, but simply just find all the columns, multiply by our expansion size minus 1, add them to the Manhattan distance, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. I just made it way more difficult than it needed to be. Here's the logic here for calculating if a line or column is empty. But that is it. That is it. Again, made it way harder than it needed to be. But, anyways, there we go. Day 11. I forgot what day it was. Day 11, done. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys tomorrow for day 12. Peace out.